So one of the goals of Tangible Things was to help students become aware of aspects of discrimination and exclusion and oppression in times past, and then to think about ways to overcome them, but to acknowledge them as part of our history. So history isn't just what happened in the past. It's about what later generations choose to remember. There are choices involved. And what people choose to forget is as important as what they choose to remember. So this plaque, which is erected on a stone near the library of the Harvard Law School, represents a later controversy and a later attempt to try to acknowledge a forgotten part of Harvard's past. The controversy developed when students and alums of the law school began to pay attention to a kind of flag or insignia that was established in the early 20th century to represent the law school. And they based that flag, or seal as it was called, on a memory of one of the earliest and most important donors to the law school, a man named Isaac Royal. The problem was nobody seemed to notice or care that Isaac Royal was a West Indian planter with hundreds of enslaved workers on his plantations. And in the early 21st century, as students became increasingly concerned about honest representation of the past, that insignia became a problem. And so there was a big argument. Shall we remove the seal, which was on stationery, it's on physical fabric, it's on flags flown at commencement. Should we just get rid of it? And the decision was to do just that. But then, what else? So somebody came up with the bright idea of creating this small memorial in the yard in honor, as it reads, of the enslaved whose labor created wealth that made possible the founding of Harvard Law School. And then it continued, may we pursue the highest ideals of law and justice in their memory. President Drew Faust made a really interesting comment in 2016. She said, if we can understand how oppression and exploitation could seem commonplace to so many of those who built Harvard College, we may better equip ourselves to combat our own shortcomings and to advance justice and equality in our own time. The law school seal is gone. The memorial survives. Yet, as many of my students noted, people walk right by those plaques, right by that rock. They even sit on the rock and never notice what it says. So as President Faust has written, the past never dies or disappears. It continues to shape us in ways we should not try to erase or ignore. We must never forget. But how do we do that? And that was one of the challenges that we'd like to offer you in your own setting, wherever you may be. And we'd like to offer some ways that in this course and in the work of our students, we have tried to find creative ways to confront and to acknowledge not just the things we want to remember, but the things we have perhaps willfully forgotten.